These are the numbers that define one of basketball's most polarizing superstars: 36 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds per game over a 4-year stretch that redefined what offensive dominance looks like in the modern NBA. This is how good prime James Harden actually was. When we talk about basketball greatness, we often get caught up in championships and clutch moments, but sometimes pure basketball brilliance transcends team success. James Harden's prime from 2016 to 2020 represents one of the most statistically dominant individual peaks in NBA history, and yet it remains one of the most debated legacies of this generation. By 2016, Harden had already transformed from a promising sixth man in Oklahoma City to an all-star caliber player in Houston. What happened next wasn't just growth though, it was a complete reinvention of what one player could do with a basketball. The 2016-17 season marked Harden's arrival as a true superstar. He became the first player in NBA history to record at least 2,000 points, 900 assists, and 600 rebounds in a single season. He wasn't just scoring at an elite level, he was orchestrating an entire offense while grabbing rebounds like a forward. His 11.2 assists per game led the league, proving he could elevate teammates just as effectively as he could score. But here's where Harden's prime gets truly insane. In 2017-18, his MVP season, he averaged 30.4 points per game while shooting 36.7% from 3 on over 10 attempts per game. He became only the 9th player in NBA history to make 2,000 career three-pointers, and he was doing it with a volume and efficiency that was changing how teams defended the entire court. The numbers from his 2018-19 campaign are almost video game-like. Harden scored 36.1 points per game, the highest average since Michael Jordan in 1986-87. He recorded 9 50-point games that season, including a stretch where he scored at least 30 points in 32 consecutive games. Only Wilt Chamberlain has a longer streak, and that was back in 1962 when the pace of play was completely different. On January 30th, 2018, against the Orlando Magic, Harden became the first player in NBA history to record a 60-point triple-double. 60 points while also getting 10 rebounds and 11 assists. This wasn't just individual brilliance, this was rewriting what we thought was possible in a single basketball game. The efficiency numbers tell an even more compelling story. During his prime, Harden maintained a true shooting percentage of 60.8% while taking the most difficult shots in basketball. He was shooting step-back threes from 30 feet, driving through triple teams and getting to the free throw line at historic rates. His offensive rating of 115.3 means that for every 100 possessions, his team scored 115.3 points when he was on the floor. That's championship level team offense generated by one player. Here's something that gets overlooked. Harden's playmaking during this stretch was generational. He led the league in assists in 2016-17 with 11.2 per game while being the primary scoring option. Most great scorers see their assist numbers drop when they're carrying the offensive load, but Harden did the opposite. He became a more creative passer as his scoring increased. The 2019-20 season represents the absolute peak of Harden's powers. He joined Michael Jordan as the only player to average at least 30 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals in a season. He finished with the largest scoring margin over the second leading scorer since Wilt Chamberlain in 1962-63, an 8.1 point per game difference. In the modern NBA, with so much talent spread across 30 teams, that kind of scoring dominance simply doesn't happen. Prime Harden wasn't just about individual statistics though, he was reinventing basketball strategy. His step-back three became the most copied move in basketball. Young players across the globe started practicing his signature move, and NBA teams had to completely redesign their defensive schemes. The Houston Rockets built an entire offensive system around maximizing Harden's unique skill set, and it nearly worked. They took the Kevin Durant Warriors, arguably the most talented team ever assembled, to 7 games in the 2018 Western Conference Finals. What made Prime Harden special wasn't just the scoring, it was the completeness. He recorded 22 triple-doubles in 2016-17 alone, and he has 5 career 50-point triple-doubles, more than any player in NBA history. This wasn't a one-dimensional scorer putting up empty stats. This was a player who could take over every aspect of a basketball game when necessary. The defensive criticism was often overblown too. While Harden was never going to win Defensive Player of the Year, his steal numbers during his prime were excellent. season, averaging over 1.8 steals per game while carrying a massive offensive load. His defensive rebounding as a guard was elite, helping the Rockets switch defensively and create more possessions. Prime Harden also showed incredible durability. He played 72+ games in each season from 2016 to 2020. Despite having the highest usage rate in the league, he was taking 20+ shots per game, getting fouled constantly, and still showing up night after night. That kind of consistency at that level of performance is rare in any era. The international success adds another layer to his legacy. Harden was instrumental in Team USA's 2012 Olympic gold medal and 2014 FIBA World Cup championship. When playing alongside other superstars, he adapted his game perfectly, showing the basketball IQ that made his prime so special. The lasting legacy of Prime Harden is complexity. He was simultaneously one of the most dominant individual performers in NBA history and one of the most polarizing. His style wasn't always beautiful, but it was undeniably effective, and he changed how basketball is played and analyzed. So, how good was Prime James Harden actually? He was a player who produced some of the greatest individual seasons in modern NBA history, while carrying teams to playoff success against historically great opponents. He revolutionized offensive basketball and put up numbers that seemed impossible in the modern era. Whether you loved his style or hated it, you couldn't ignore it. Prime James Harden was basketball brilliance in its most unfiltered form, a player who maximized every possession, every skill, and every opportunity to dominate the game he loved. That's not just good, that's legendary.